Hello, my name is Gretchen Ayers, and today I'm going to share with you my Facilitator of Learning evidence. The first proficiency is 2.1. Treats students equitably, respects individual differences, and adjusts practices. I decided to use my equity project narrative. Through this project, I was able to reflect on our student body population and create an equitable lesson promoting different race and gender STEM leaders in science. And this document shows why I chose my topic, shows what I learned, and my reflection. My next piece of evidence is a case study. I read about a winter party case, and it was about parents and teachers that were getting together to plan a winter celebration, and we talked about some of the concerns about cultures during holiday celebrations and leaving out other cultures in their celebration. So we looked at the problem, we took different perspectives, we considered challenges and opportunities. I came up with an equitable outcome that I could think of, brainstormed immediate term of responses and long term, and then we crafted a plan of action. The third piece of evidence is a discussion board post about equitable literacy. This assignment helped me determine the difference between equitable and equal. We also got to explore a website that we could use as a technology tool, and this was called Teaching for Social Justice. We had 3 websites that we could choose from, and then we did this matrix to find things that we could use immediately in our classroom. Next is Proficiency 2.2, which is understanding human development and learning, as well as using that information to create enriching educational experiences and/or environments of all students. My first piece of evidence is the counting profile assignment. I was able to interview 3 different students with different understandings of mathematics. I collected a description and formed an analysis to better understand the development of each individual student. Then I use this information for future small groups and future questioning and discussions. The video analysis of teaching assignment is my second piece of evidence. This allowed me to relate behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism to my teaching methods. Then I reflected on the similarities and differences to enrich my teaching strategies to child development. My last piece of evidence for Proficiency 2.2 is my data overview. This has a collection of the demographics over the past 3 years, the makeup of teachers. It also has the mean scale score from the Georgia milestones compared to Cobb County and the state of Georgia over the past 3 years. It has a drill down of data. There we go. This is showing you the drill down of data out of the Georgia milestones and science section compared to Cobb County in the state of Georgia over the past 3 years. And the last thing that we did was we identified the strengths and weaknesses, and we developed some action steps. Next is Proficiency 2.3, which is create safe and well-managed, supportive, inclusive, challenging learning environment. My first piece of evidence is the Science Lab introduction video.
Welcome back, Norton Park students. I am so excited to have you back in the Science Lab.
This is a video that I created that includes the teacher introduction, which you can see here. It has the classroom layout, It also has the behavior incentive program that we use in specials with tickets. And it has the engineering design process that we want to promote in Science Lab. This communicates from day one what is expected in the STEM lab. My next piece of evidence is the shared problems interview. I interviewed a 5th grade student and recorded her problem and response, and then quickly formed an analysis. I was able to extend the activity through questioning and making future instructional decisions. My last piece of evidence in Proficiency 2.2 is the Science Fair PowerPoint. This PowerPoint was used as I was co-teaching with the computer lab teacher. This was a school-wide activity to extend and challenge activities promoting scientific inquiry. My next piece of evidence is with Proficiency 2.4, which uses multiple methods, technologies, resources, and organizational arrangements to meet goals articulated for individual students, class instruction, and the overall improvement plan to improve the elementary and early childhood learning environment. My first piece of evidence is the engineering and design process video I created to articulate the process to the entire school. This video was created through Powtoon and then uploaded to YouTube. The steps are ask, imagine, plan, create, and improve. This was also a connecting communication tool relating the STEM lab with classroom teachers during STEM week or challenges in homeroom teachers' classes. The next piece of evidence is the pre-test link I gave to students on iPads during my action research for data collection. And I also provided the professional learning plan so that you can see the slides that include the data I collected and the evidence of use with my action research. This is an example of what the pre-test looks like for 5th grade. This was created using Microsoft Forms. In my professional development plan PowerPoint, slides 9 through 12 include examples of the tool that was used, and then slide 18 and 19 have the findings. This is all of the data that I collected. My last piece of evidence of proficiency in 2.4 is the Solar Eclipse Service Project video some of my students created.
We have decided that we want to help other countries during the solar eclipse. Did you know?
This allowed students to create a teaching tool through different mediums such as Legos, Spheros, and green screens, and so on.
But right now, let's stay on topic. We have a question for you. Do you want to help us collect glasses
And donate them. Well, if you do, you can donate your glasses to your school and they can send it to us in Norton Park Elementary. We would love for you to participate with us kids and adults. Thank you very much. Please help us and our community. Thank you.
Next is Proficiency 2.5, which is monitor student progress with a variety of formal and informal evaluation methods and uses results to improve student learning. My first piece of evidence is my action chart. The action chart highlights the ways that students were formally and informally assessed throughout my action research, who will be responsible for collecting, a timeline, resources needed, and the actions that need to take place. My next piece of evidence is the data inventory. The data inventory shows the data source, the content area, dates of collection, the students that were assessed, accessibility to teachers, current use, and ways to use the data collector as a better source. My last piece of evidence for Proficiency 2.5 is the STEM challenge sheets. I use a similar sheet like this one for each challenge that I give my students. Each STEM challenge sheet monitors student progress by using the criteria and constraints to direct the students, and it serves as a rubric. The last proficiency is 2.6, which is accountable to multiple audiences, accurately interprets student performance data, and communicates results to multiple audiences in multiple formats. My first piece of evidence is the elevator speech. This is a speech, and it also is recorded here, that I was reporting to teachers to drive the motivation behind the using data process to improve student learning and close achievement gaps. My second piece of evidence is the school culture analysis. This is an example of a memo that could be shared with the school board, giving background knowledge of our school, internal assessment and an external assessment, description of the teachers, and a summary of findings reflecting how teachers feel about their experience at our school. The last piece of evidence in Proficiency 2.6 is the Professional Development Plan PowerPoint. This PowerPoint was used to communicate to classroom teachers and administration about my findings, referring to the impact the engineering design process had on English language learners through 3rd and 5th grade.